Steve Jobs' 2005 Stanford Commencement Address. This is one of the most emotional and inspiring speeches you'll ever listen to. Although Jobs presented it way before TED Talks became popular, you'll notice it has a similar flow to an inspiring TED Talk. It is relatively short, it has a theme, and it proves a point through a story. Through this speech, Jobs tells us how we can find triumph through struggle. Jobs gave this speech 1 year after he was diagnosed with cancer. He had surgery and he was fine at that point. That's the most important part of this speech. Understanding our time here is limited. What are we going to do with it? That's what matters. Al Pacino's Inch by Inch. Have you seen the movie Any Given Sunday? It's a great one. The moment when Al Pacino gives one of the greatest speeches seen on the big screen is priceless. It's not just a speech about football. It's about winning. It's about overcoming obstacles. It's about becoming stronger. It's about life in general. In either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 step too late or too early, you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow or too fast and you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They are in every break of the game, every minute, every second. That's only a part of this great speech. Funny enough, it starts with, "I don't know what to say, really." J.K. Rowling's Harvard commencement speech. This one will make you laugh at first. J.K. Rowling has a rare talent to make the listeners laugh and think at the same time. At one point, the writer gets serious and gives out the main point of this speech, sharing things she wishes she had known at her own graduation, and the important lessons she has learned between that day and the day of the speech. There's one aspect of this speech that makes it different from most others on our list, the talk about poverty. The writer tells the truth about it. There's no romanticizing of poverty. As she says, only fools do that. This situation entails fear, stress, and depression. It means 1,000 petty humiliations and hardships. However, what she feared most for herself when she was young wasn't poverty. It was a failure. Essentially, this is a speech about the benefits of failure. Yes, there is such thing as a benefit from failure. J.K. Rowling is a living proof for that. Bill Gates' Harvard Commencement Address 2007. I've been waiting more than 30 years to say this. Dad, I always told you I'd come back and get my degree. That's one of the funniest parts of this speech. Gates didn't graduate. He is Harvard's most successful dropout. He makes a big point, though. The fact that he dropped out doesn't make academic life less of an important experience. Gates used to sit in on classes he hadn't even signed up for. As he says in his speech, one of his most precious memories of Harvard is being in the midst of so much energy and intelligence. Education is important, and it is a privilege. However, getting to know the wider world is also important, even though it's shocking for the most part. Jim Carrey's commencement address at the 2014 MUM graduation. You would expect a funny speech from one of the funniest men on earth, wouldn't you? Well, here is a surprise. Jim Carrey is deep. This speech is enlightening, to say the least. The main message is to choose love over fear. And yes, the speech is funny. It's Jim Carrey, after all. However, it's also very, very serious. I am here to plant a seed that will inspire you to move forward in life with enthusiastic hearts and a clear sense of wholeness. Even if you take the safe route through life, you might fail. If you follow your dreams, you might fail, too. But you might achieve them, and that's what makes the difference. In the speech, Jim shares an example, his father. He could have been a great comedian, but he made a safe choice, accounting. When Kim was 12 years old, his father lost that job that was supposed to be safe. That was the point when the actor learned the most important lesson in life. You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. If you're in the middle of a crossroad and you're wondering what road to choose, listen to this speech. It inspires you to choose the right thing. It inspires you to choose love over fear. Will Smith's Pursuit of Happiness speech. If you haven't seen The Pursuit of Happiness, go watch it right now. It's amazing. Will Smith plays a homeless salesman doing everything he can to support his son. Will Smith gives a short but impactful speech to his son in the movie about going out and getting what you want out of life. He says, "Don't ever let somebody tell you, you can't do something. You got a dream? You gotta protect it. People can't do something themselves, they want to tell you, you can't do it. If you want something, go get it. Period." Sheryl Sandberg's commencement address at the 2012 Harvard Business School graduation. Sandberg offered the 2012 graduates some practical wisdom prior to them entering the business world. She urged them to remember to always communicate and practice honesty with others, which is not the norm in most workplaces. In fact, it's likely not the norm for most people, even with their friends or family. She also talked about thinking of your career as a jungle gym, and encourages people to jump around instead of following the traditional path that most people have done. Hopefully this inspires you to push your own boundaries and not be afraid to restart your path, pivot your career, and find different ways of doing things.